Jonathan, we need to have an unfortunate conversation. You ready?
Yep.
So again, you represent Convoy Home Loans. You're a big part of the channel. You're helping people each and every week. I just had a conversation with Jonathan Twomley, one of my multifamily syndicators, somebody who's much bigger than I am. We just did an exercise where we turned real estate billionaires into negative net worths. And why is this important? Because we kind of touched on at the end of video number one. I fear in the commercial lending market, we are about to see some significant default increases. And I think this means two things. One, it's in the first innings. It's just started. You can go back and watch the video with Jonathan Twomley. We raised the cap rate from 3.5 to 4, and we took the NOI from down like 12%. And somebody who had a $1.2 billion net worth was worth $0. Zero. And that's not crazy. A 4 cap in an environment where risk-free rate of return is 5.
Yeah.
That's not absurd. So again, watch the video for the math. Again, it was crude, but eye-opening. And the reason I think this is important because I believe one rental at a time or residential loans, residential product is about to be the gold standard. And it is solely because in the United States of America, we offer 30-year fixed rate product on residential. I think the pain is just, it's like a little campfire right now, and it might blow up. And again, as we said at the end of video number one, if it does, you will see DSCR products and all these other things vanish as Wall Street licks their wounds. So that's fun to talk about. What do you think?
It is. It's scary, right? Because it's almost like, and we talked about it multiple times previously before, but commercial always trails behind residential in terms of, lending wise. So we've kind of, like, residential side, we felt this like 6 months ago, a year ago, right? Where it was just like an almost like stop. And right now, because we have a commercial lending arm of Convoy as well. And everyone that we talk to is, we have a lot of clients. We just don't have the banks that want to take the loan.
Exactly.
And if they do want to take it, it's on very, very low risk where they have to put 60% down, 50% down.
60% down. We're not talking LTVs. We're talking 60% down.
Yeah. And then on top of that, have, 10, 20% deposits in the bank, like to write riskier loans. And it's like, who has that kind of money right now, right? So what's also happening too is people that bought on 3-year arms, 5-year arms, 5 years ago, right? We were talking about the default stuff, right? They're starting to sell, and I'm already hearing in the rumblings about the commercial market. People are starting to sell at a loss.
Yeah, and again, they're selling it. So again, we're in the first inning of what could be a disaster in commercial, and it's because of the financing. Again, I think more and more one rental at a time fans, you've got to appreciate the 30-year fixed rate money. You've got to appreciate cash flow day one. I think that, again, I want to say, like I did in Jonathan's videos, there are real estate billionaires on social media today that if they did an honest assessment of their balance sheet today, they're not billionaires. They maybe were a billionaire last year. They're just flat out not billionaires today. Cap rates have changed. NOIs have changed. And some of these billionaires have negative net worths today. It's eye-opening what happens when a 3.5 cap goes to 4 or 5. It can be really bad.
Yeah, and then, I mean, you're starting to see, what's funny is social media, like, social media is where people measure things now, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, how big can you be on social media? I think where a lot of people don't understand is if everyone on social media is saying you got to buy these multifamily apartments, you got to do this, you got to do that, then
bigger is better. That nonsense, that has always been nonsense. It is not true. And today, it's going to kill people.
Yeah. And I mean, but now if you're looking at the really smart people, and a lot of my higher net worth clients, everyone shifted to 1-4s. They, and it's funny you said that, because a lot, like my very high net worth clients are like focusing on 1-4 only. In fact, they're 1031ing out of
exactly
big apartments into a couple 1-4s, even if they're like even if we're talking about LA, we're talking, you know, 1.5, 1.6 for multifamilies. And people are doing that, no problem. I have a client trying to buy a $3.1 million duplex on the water next to Manhattan Beach. It's like, you know, this is people are doing that away from their
Exactly.
big
This is
apartment
what you
complexes.
should. This is why you got to follow one rental at a time. This is why you got to do the work. You will never appreciate 30-year money. In the next 12 months, the 30-year residential loan will be the gold standard as commercial billionaires go bankrupt. It's going to be comical to watch these folks who were billionaires, 100 million, be worth nothing, just
Yeah.
nothing.
And you know what's crazy is I'm also we're very plugged into the LA market. And
Mhm.
you know, LA skyscrapers downtown, you know, Koreatown has a lot of big buildings too. The there was a couple big owners of these buildings. Now, I mean, we kind of talked about San Francisco like 2 weeks ago, but in LA too, there's silent defaults happening. There's silent sales happening. And
Yeah.
all these big, you know, companies that owned all these skyscrapers are starting to sell their
You got to
properties
get
at a
out.
loss
Yeah.
quietly. And obviously, the people that buy it after, they're the ones that win on the big discount. But
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, that has to say something to everybody in the rest of the world. It's like, hey, even when you're
Yeah.
talking about money in LA, money in wherever, like you're starting to really get into a problem when people are silently
Yeah.
defaulting. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the first inning. It's probably not even one out in the first inning, so it's like really early. This is going to be a disaster, and a year from now, people are going to be just celebrating 30-year fixed rate money. Go back to video one, conventional lending. That's the only thing I ever considered. In fact, last year you can go back and watch. I got all of my apartments in the 30-year money. It's just the way to roll. Jonathan, if somebody wanted to reach out and see if you can help with the deal, hopefully a 1 through 4 30-year fix, what would they do?
Go to convoyhomeloans.com and let us know you came for more at.
There you go. Thanks, buddy.